guys, welcome to Didedi's Crafty Corner, and here are a few of my favorite crafty items of 2017. One of my most favorite things this year has been watercolor. I started this year out with trying to watercolor, and I'm going to show you the things that I have enjoyed most in my watercoloring. I have purchased a ton of watercolor stuff this year. These are the things that I think are worth a mention, or the things that I have absolutely loved the most. I'm going to start with the Peerless watercolors. Peerless Watercolors is a printed book of ink. So it was first published in 1902, and the colors are extremely vibrant and beautiful, and they're just gorgeous, guys. So I have cut out a little section. You can get this one, which is the complete edition. I've also got the Pretty in Pink, which are all the pinks. And I did pick up the bonus pack that has the other colors. They are all in this book. So I put them all in the book so that I can reach for them and get them. So I put a sample of what the color looks like on the inside on some watercolor paper, and then I've just glued them down to the outside of this sheet so that when I want to use them, which is often, I just grab my water brush and you just go in and you just pick up a little bit of color. And then you bring it to your paper and you color. And is that not gorgeous? Absolutely brilliant. It's beautiful. And the colors are very vibrant. And because there's plastic on each side, you don't have to worry about it, ruining or staining or any of that. Let's look at this blue. I'm just rubbing this off over here so I don't contaminate the colors. Let's pick up a little bit of this blue. And again, as you can see, I've just gone in, and because mostly I'm dealing with very small images, flowers or critters or scenes, it takes very little paint. This will last me so very long. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So this is one of my favorite ways to watercolor, is with the Peerless watercolor sheets. So they're self-blending colors. I did go ahead and pick up all of them because I was that impressed with them, and if I can find the links for them below, I'll put them down below. I highly recommend using some sort of a system like this, because as you can see, if you have the little sheet here over here to protect it, it's not going to they're not going to bleed on each other or ruin each other, but you also don't have to worry about digging them out each time you want to use them. It's just a absolutely great way to store them. And I love these watercolors. And as I said, you're just going to use just a little tiny bit, and the payoff is fabulous. So that's my number one choice. My second thing, we'll get to these in a minute. My second thing has been the dot system. So as you guys know, Danielle Smith, a lot of companies have started using these little dots of paint to give you a sampling of color. I absolutely love them, and I pick them up when like Hero Arts, some of our top designers have put together, Danielle Smith has put together cards. They're usually just like this, just this big, and I reach for these all the time. I pick them up every time I see them. They're less than $3 each time that they're released. And I pick them up, all of them that I can find. There was a Jane Davenport one that got released through another, I don't think it was through this company, but through another company. That one was gorgeous. And I find myself reaching for these all the time to just do my little images. They're gorgeous, they're beautiful, they're easy to use, and I keep my bigger one in this. I actually have two of them. I keep them in this one right here. That's what the colors look like. I did a video on this one when I did it, but I've been using these little cards now ever since they started coming out, and I absolutely adore them. And I'll show you how that looks as well. So it's a great way, because it'll take you a very long time to use all of these colors up. You'll go through a lot of projects for less than $3. That's pretty amazing. So I absolutely love it. It usually helps if you just get it a little wet first. This is called Deep Cadmium Yellow Deep Hue. And look at that. You saw how little paint I had to pick up. You could probably do, you could probably get through a ton of cards with just one of these little things. So it's a great way to play around with the expensive watercolors, have beautiful colors, and at a very little price. So I absolutely love these watercolor dot cards. Like I said, I'm mostly crazy about the Danielle Smith ones, but there's tons of them out there doing it right now. Just Google it, look for it. You'll have a great time with that. Another one of the watercolors that I find myself reaching for a lot, which you'll see when I open the lid, is the Gamsey Tambi watercolors. I absolutely love these. They're made by Kuretake. And this little piece in here, I was using this as my water palette before I found something else I use, and that's what it looks like. I have already replaced this blue one time already, and the gold one time already. So those are the two. I mostly do flowers, so as you can see, these are the ones that get used most often, but I absolutely love this watercolor as well. So that's worth, and it's not very expensive, guys. This set is not that expensive. It was hard to get when it first came out, a little more expensive when it first came out. That's what all the colors look like. Oh, I guess I could show you that as well. You get beautiful payoff, gorgeous colors. I absolutely love them all. Let's go with a vibrant red over here. Really into reds lately, guys, completely. Watch this. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm absolutely crazy about this. Now when you do use it, it's best to set it aside and let it dry. Don't put your lids back on there, any of the lids on your watercolor. Don't put it back on when it's wet, because that's a good way to get fungus in your watercolor, and you don't want to do that, because these watercolors will last you a very, very long time, so you want to take care of them. So making sure they're dry before you put them away is important. So that's what I do. I just set them aside, let them dry, and then I come back and put my covers on it and put it away. Alright, so then the third watercolor, I'm going to make sure that my brush is clean here. The third watercolors that I have been loving, or the colors that I've been loving to use watercolor with, are two different things. Number one, the Distressed Oxide inks. I absolutely love this for watercoloring. I've got the, of course, the ink pads, but I find myself using the refills and just putting them on a flat surface and then picking it up with my watercolor. Is absolutely brilliant. The other thing I do is I put them in mini mister. So this is another one of my items. It's a must-have item. I have probably 20 of them or more, actually, and I love putting my inks in here, whether it's a tube watercolor and mixing it up, or my Distress ink refills, or this product right here, which is the Dr. Phil Martin's Radiant Concentrated Watercolor. Now I only have the set A because it comes with 14 different colors. One of them is black, and I found that with these, you pretty much have every color you need, especially if you mix them together. So they're absolutely gorgeous colors. I'm going to show you in just a second what they look like. And I also will put these in this mini mister, which is why I'm showing it. So I love to do my a lot of techniques using the mini mister and just the ink, and I love the Distress Oxide inks for that as well. So it's a must-have. You can use it for tons. You can color your embossing, not your embossing paste. You can color your embossing, your embossing paste, your liquid paste. You can color your texture paste, your gesso. You can do all kinds of stuff with this and have cool backgrounds, and I absolutely love the Distress reinkers for that. So I think that's a great investment, and again, they're not very expensive, so just pick up the colors that you reach for the most. I went ahead and got them all, but absolutely love playing with those. And one of my favorite ways, again, is in the mini mister or as a watercolor. So there's that. Now let's talk about these. These are my other favorite go-to watercolors. Now these are not light fast as the Kiritake ones are not light fast either. But they're perfect for card makers. I mean, how long do we need a card to stick around? More than, 10 years? Probably not. People aren't going to leave them out sitting on their shelves for 10 years, right? I don't think so. So I love to use these in my, like I said, in my little mini misters, but I also like to use them just as watercolors. So I'm just going to show you a couple of them. Now you can put them in a little tray, which I do, but I want to show you this. This is something else that I've got a couple of them that I absolutely adore. This is what they look like. This is what they look like brand new. So this is from Art Impressions. It's called the DVD Watercolor Art Impressions Watercolor Palette. Right, and it's just a piece of plastic, right? And it lets you when you're using it as a palette, let your colors just kind of dry on there, so you can go back and use it if you want to, or you can clean it off and come back and use it again. So I absolutely love these. We're going to use this side, and I'm just going to show you some of these. So I highly recommend this. Absolutely love it. Let's just put a couple of drops on here, or a drop, because believe me guys, it's going to take very little. I just want you to see the colors. So this color is Moss Rose. This is one of my favorite colors, which is Juniper Green. I didn't even pick any up. And we're just going to pick up a little bit with our paintbrush, our water brush over here, and I'll show you what they look like. They're super fun to use in all kinds of techniques. But look at that. Brilliant colors, absolutely brilliant colors. I love, love, love them. I guess that's why they're called radiant, right guys? They're gorgeous. All right, let's pick up some of this blue. I absolutely adore this blue as well. We'll go over here. Well, I guess we should stick together. I'm going to squeeze and get some water out so you can see what it looks like when it's watered down. Super pretty, right? Let's go in and get some more. And now if you just leave that right on there on this one, it will dry. It'll take it a while, but it will dry. Super pretty, right? So I'm absolutely loving those as well, and that is the Dr. Phil Martin's Radiant Concentrated Watercolor, and I just think it's absolutely amazing. So that's what I've liked most this year in watercolor. The brushes that I like to use, my water brushes, I really only like the one. I like the Zig Detail Tip. I think I've got a different tip as well, but I never reach for it. I really just like these, so I've got quite a few of these. It just always works. I really, really like it. So for a water brush, that's what I use. And then for my regular brushes, I have purchased the Silver Black Velvet brushes, and these are the ones that I think are a must for me. Now everybody's brushes are going to be different, and how you feel about a brush is different, but I've chosen to get the 2, the 4, the 6, the 8, the 12, I bypassed the 10, and then I got a flat brush, and I use that. It's a 3/4 inch, which is perfect for card making and doing a wash. These brushes, guys, are absolutely amazing. When I tell you that it has been life-changing to my watercolor, I'm telling you, it has. I was using a much different quality water brush before this, and I decided to just try one. I started with the number 4, and I used it with 3 other number 4s that I had at the house, and it was a complete difference. So the water brush that you use is definitely going to make a huge difference in how you color. So this has been my pick for 2017. All right, let's get on with this. Okay, aren't those beautiful, guys? Simply beautiful. I absolutely love watercolor. Absolutely love it. Next up in my favorite things for 2017 will be most used dyes. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.